If I look back, the first sci-fi movie I ever watched was Alien by Ridley Scott. The then surreal plot sent chills down my spine. I was 12 back then, and this was the first real taste of sci-fi horror genre. Then I saw Terminator, directed by James Cameron. That movie started my eternal love for the cyberpunk genre and biomechanical art. Back then I would have never thought that 16 years later I would be striving to become a filmmaker. When I heard that James Cameron made a filming masterclass, I knew I had to get my hands on it. Now, if you have been following me for a while, you may recall a video I made back in November sharing with you my plans for 2022. Now, in this video, I did share that I signed up for a website called masterclass.com to cover a couple of different courses on filmmaking and writing process, in hopes that this will overall boost my knowledge in filmmaking. And the first course that I decided to cover was by James Cameron on filmmaking. Now, I will definitely be not covering everything that goes in that course, but trust me, it is not sponsored, but I do recommend you to go to the website, sign up, and do watch those courses. There's a lot of very valuable information there. What I will be doing here, and I will most probably split it into 4 different videos in this series, sharing with you the main fascinating and interesting things that I picked up from those courses. And today I have for you act number 1, which is idea creation and idea development. From the creation standpoint, he touches on 2 different points. The first one, which I would call a little bit generic, which is to express your perspective thematically. Essentially, your view on the world can become a subject of a plotline, or perhaps something that is happening to you or around you. For example, let's take the current times. The world is struggling from COVID, and this could be a subject of a plot that your character is trying to overcome. The first thing that pops up into my mind is a vaccine shortage, and there's a father of a poor family that is desperate to save his sick child, and he goes on a crazy mission to steal the vaccine from the rich. I don't know, this could be the next Mission Impossible franchise. Now, the second point, which I found both surprising and fascinating, is harnessing your dreams. James Cameron calls dreams a zero-cost subscription service, and actually the idea of Terminator came from his dreams, or at least parts of the movies came from there. Now let's for a second look at what are dreams. Dreams are hallucinations or stories that occur during different stages of our sleep. The strongest stage is called the REM, or rapid eye movement. This is where most of your dreams occur and where you are less likely to remember those dreams. Now, researchers still cannot agree on the purpose of dreams. However, there are a couple of different widespread beliefs and theories regarding it. Theory number 1, your dreams may be ways for you to confront emotional drama in your life. I remember vividly back in my previous job, I was reconciling this account. It was very difficult considering there was a deadline. And with each every day, my stress levels were increasing to the point where I would be sleeping, dreaming about that Excel file, and I was mixing and matching numbers at a higher speed than when I was awake. And the funny thing is that after 2 or 3 dreams like this, I was actually able to find the answer. Theory number 2, dreams are your brain's way of getting you ready to deal with a threat. This happens within your amygdala. Amygdala? I'm actually not really sure how to pronounce it, but this is the part of your brain that is associated with your survival instincts, basically your fight or flight responses. Dreams are like a tutorial in a game that you have to play before the actual game that shows you all the basics and how to act or react in certain situations. And theory number 3, dreams help to facilitate our creativity because the logic filter is off, giving us all the freedom to do whatever we want. Now, speaking of logic, research suggests that the prefrontal cortex of our brain is not activated during our sleep, meaning that whenever you're doing something like walking through walls or you're flying in your dreams, your mind does not question whether it is possible or not, resulting in more crazy and vivid dreams. Now, there is a multitude of things that affect your dreams, starting from your daily activity, your mental state, certain foods, certain smells, or even sleeping position. Now, to give you a personal example, I like to game, but I hardly ever have time for it. Now, sometimes there is this one game that I really want to play, and I plan weeks, if not months in advance to free up some time in my schedule in order for me to go crazy. Now, during this process of building this whole hype up, when I start actually playing, I am at the peak of excitement, and that actually translates into my sleep. Usually what happens is that within the first 2 or 3 days, I dream as if I'm a character within that game. And this is usually when I get the worst sleep because my mind is so hyperactive I am hardly able to rest. Now what fascinates me the most is how real the dreams feel when you're sleeping. We experience the whole spectrum of emotions. If it's a happy dream, we feel happy, we wake up very positive, or if it is a bad, negative or scary dream, we either jump out of the bed, sometimes sweaty, or we just cannot rest properly. And having done all this research, I now understand what does James Cameron mean by dreams are a zero-cost subscription service. Not only does it give you ideas for a plot line, but also it gives us a taste of the emotions that we should aim to trigger from the audience. Now there is one problem though. I hardly ever recall my dreams. Now doing some research, I found 4 things that we can do. First of all, it is said that having a regular bed timing helps you to wake up without an alarm. And this one, I can vouch for it myself. I tend to go to bed at midnight and I wake up between 7 and 7:15 without an alarm. This is what is known as the body clock. Second tip, when you wake up, don't jump out of the bed immediately. Take your time, slowly wake up. This way you don't abruptly end your dream and you slowly get out of it. Tip number 3, write everything that you remember from your dream in the morning. This way you can get into the habit of recalling the things that happen throughout your sleep. And fourthly, and this is a trick that I'm yet to confirm, it is said that just before bed you should drink 3 big glasses of water. That will force you to go to the bathroom just after your REM stage of sleep, helping you to recall what you were dreaming about. I gotta try this. Perhaps this will be a cool 30-day challenge. So to summarize, what James Cameron says is that dreams can create imagery that can become a source or a nucleus of a storyline or a plot. And once you have something interesting, start asking yourself a couple of different questions. For example, where am I? Where it comes from? What is happening? The more layers of detail you add to your nucleus, the more it's gonna grow into a potential story. So now that we looked at the idea creation, now let's look at the idea development. James Cameron says that no matter how small or crazy the idea might be, it is still worthwhile to explore it. Don't immediately chuck it out of the window. Play with it. Try to give it some shape. Like we mentioned in the idea creation, ask yourself some questions, add layers of detail to it, and then see how it feels. The idea might then start resonating with your life and the events around you. And when it comes to deciding on whether or not you should throw it away or continue looking at it and developing it, well, it all comes down to 2 things. First of all is, do you still think about it during a longer period of time? Let's say a month passed, are you still thinking constantly about this idea? And second of all, are ideas or details coming to you easy? A lot of times, whenever we are very interested in a specific topic or idea, or we're working on something very interesting, we're constantly thinking about it, and at the same time we're always coming up with new ideas or ways to create or improve something. So if you have that kind of feeling, then perhaps it is worthwhile to continue developing that specific storyline. Now, when we are developing a story, we need to remember the basics of a story or a novel. Usually you'll start with introducing a character, building him, building the setting, and also presenting a problem that the character will be facing. Then you move into Act 2, where you'll be developing the story, and then you move to Act 3, where you'll be resolving it. Now in this act, James Cameron does not dive deep into how to develop an idea. So I would like to finish up everything that I've been saying right now with the quote that he mentions in this course, which is, every filmmaker needs to understand the writing process. This sounds like music to my ears because it supports the idea that I've been having, that came out of the blue, that I should start learning about how to create engaging characters and stories, which is all part of the whole big process of me developing my own filming style. If you enjoyed this video, please do drop a thumbs up for me, it will really help me out, and also consider subscribing if you are new to my channel. Thank you for watching, and I see you next one. Пока!